From the 22 News Plus studio, this is 22 News in Focus with Patrick Berry.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of InFocus. I am your host, Patrick Berry. We're here in the 22 News Plus studios. Today, we're talking about jobs. Across the desk from me today are two wonderful people. Maura Geary, she is the co-executive director for MassHire Franklin Hampshire, and Gary Uhas, he is the executive director of LifePath. So thank you both for joining me today. We're talking about employment and jobs, specifically because a $500,000 grant was issued this past fall in 2025. And it's to both, is it to both of your organizations, to one of your organization? You're working together to capitalize on it?
It's a partnership grant.
Okay.
So MassHire Franklin Hampshire is the recipient of the grant. So we're going to do the grant management, but it's a very close partnership with LifePath as well as with our employer partners who play a critical role as well.
So Maura, explain to me what the organization does of MassHire Franklin Hampshire.
Sure. MassHire Franklin Hampshire is the workforce development organization that serves all of Franklin County, all of Hampshire County, and the North Quabbin region. And we work with both job seekers and employers. With job seekers, we work with them to build their skills, to help them access resources like training, and to connect them to the jobs that are in our region. And how we know what the jobs are in our region is the work that we do with our employers, where we work with employers to find out what their short-term hiring needs are, what kind of skills and competencies they're looking for in their workforce, and then also what they're projecting for long-term in their businesses. And in a region like ours that's predominantly rural, it's very important that we really are doing labor market analysis to know what the economic realities are in our region, and then developing a pipeline of workers that are going to be able to meet the needs that we have.
And one of those partner organizations is LifePath.
Exactly.
Which is a perfect segue to go over to you, Gary. Explain to us what your organization does.
Thank you. LifePath is an aging services access point. That's a state designation. We're one of 24 agencies across the state who are supporting older adults to live independently in their homes for as safe and as long as possible, allowing them the dignity and respect to do so. And we are deeply committed to and very involved in our community through a variety of different mechanisms such as Meals on Wheels, senior centers, our employees, our volunteers, support vendors, and other ways. So this is a really great opportunity for us to connect with a wonderful partner and to be able to access some of the people out in the community who are looking for this type of support.
So the grant that came about, Maura, let me ask you, how did it come about? Is this something you initiated? Did you write the grant application, or was this something done on a much larger level where the State House and Maura Healey's office was looking for resources in the Commonwealth to designate the money to?
Yes.
I like that answer.
So on our side, we have been seeing over the last several years a real increase in older job seekers who are looking to come back to work. So in some cases, there are people who lost their job during the pandemic. In some cases, there are individuals who, in a different economic reality a few years ago, thought that they were prepared to retire, only to find out these days that they do need to continue to have an income. So we were seeing a real increase in older job seekers. And that's one of the reasons we reached out to Gary, because their organization does so much with that population. At the same time, we were hearing from our healthcare employer partners that they were really struggling with certain occupational shortages. And one of the things that we were consistently hearing about was medical receptionists or patient care representatives, which does require some level of skill, but is something that's achievable. And we really
teachable.
And we really saw an opportunity for this population and this job. And so we reached out to ComCorp through their Workforce Competitiveness Trust Fund program, which is a grant program. And we submitted an application that, to your earlier question, it does meet the goals of the state to be able to skill up people who need to get on a career pathway in a priority industry, and healthcare is a priority industry.
So now, Gary, let me ask you, through your work, you've heard that same thing that Maura has. You're dealing with older adults, basically our age group and older, that are looking for work and looking to stay occupied, maybe earn a few dollars. So you've kind of relayed that information to Maura, and now you'll end up being one of the beneficiaries of this.
Perhaps. We did not go in intending to be a beneficiary. We went in intending to be a good community partner.
Okay.
It would be great if we are a beneficiary. And I would say, going back to your comment about our age, we're actually seeing folks much older than folks in this room.
Really?
Who are finding themselves in situations that they need to have paid employment. As an organization, we have about 150 employees and about 250 volunteers. We're seeing our volunteer numbers dwindle every year because the volunteers are coming to us and saying, I love to volunteer, but I can't afford to volunteer. I need to work.
Wow.
And one of the ways I think this partnership is really going to work is we recently hired someone from the Workforce Board and MassHire Franklin Hampshire, who was directed towards us at LifePath, who was an older adult who was a job seeker. And that person is one of our absolute best employees. And we sort of see the connection, we see the support, we see the drive and initiative in these folks who are just looking for a different opportunity and a different chance. And MHFH gives them that. And we're really thankful to be a part of that sort of broader spectrum.
There is so much more to talk about, but we are up on our first commercial break. So stay with us. We'll be right back after this.
This is 22 News in Focus with Patrick Berry. This is 22 News in Focus with Patrick Berry.
Welcome back, everyone, to this edition of In Focus. Here in the studio with me today are Maura Geary and Gary Uhas from Franklin Hampshire MassHire and from LifePath. Gary, and we were talking about a grant, a $500,000 grant that was issued to MassHire Franklin Hampshire. Just the way it works out, LifePath will be somewhat of a beneficiary of that. But what caught me off guard, and Gary, you mentioned it, I jokingly said, our age group is kind of going back into the workforce, but you said it's significantly older. Do you know? I mean, is it the 70-year-olds, 80-year-olds? Is there a number, or they're just older folks?
I would tell you that we start serving most people around the age of 60, and we call those the young older adults. But we're seeing people well into their 70s and in their 80s who are looking for and frankly need employment.
So this grant, Maura, is to help what? To help people find work, to help train people for work in the healthcare industry, as you noted?
One of the most exciting things I think about the model that we have is that it's a paid model, a paid training model. So our employer partners are so bought into this partnership that they are going to be hiring the training cohorts right up front. So over the next 3 years, we're going to run 8 6-week cohorts.
Wow.
So we're going to have 8 cohorts. Each of them is 6 weeks long. And the employers are going to help us screen and bring in the participants, and they're going to hire them right up front. So all of the training time is going to be paid. And then people are going to be trained for general work readiness skills. That's what MassHire Franklin Hampshire is going to provide. Healthcare specific work readiness skills, which LifePath is going to provide, and then the on-the-job training piece that's specific to each work site, and that's what the employers are going to provide.
So you've already lined up those employers.
We've lined up the beginning employers.
Okay.
Any employer who hears about this and is interested in becoming an employer should absolutely contact us. But the employers that we started with are our federally qualified health centers. So that's the Community Health Center of Franklin County,
Okay.
Hilltown Community Health Center, and Valley Medical.
So the money's targeted towards helping older adults find work. Is that because younger adults aren't getting into these fields? So these industries and these companies are short-staffed?
It's not necessarily an either or. I think it's a both and, but
Okay.
these jobs are specifically attractive, I think, and accessible to the older workforce. And so we just happen to think that these are great jobs for older workers. And as Gary started to say earlier too, these are people who have barriers to employment, but also have great experience and great skills. They tend to have a very strong work ethic. They tend to be really valuable once they understand the dimensions of the job. And that's what this training is going to help them do. Make sure they have the digital literacy skills that they need, make sure that they know about the software platforms that the healthcare employers use, make sure they know about insurance and all of that.
So how many people per cohort?
Probably about 7 people. So
so that's good. Nice small.
Are nice and small because again, we're really tailoring it to a specific employer. So 6 or 7 over the course of the 3 years, we're hoping to train 50 individuals into these healthcare jobs.
So about 50 people
total,
filling jobs that are desperately needed.
Exactly.
So Gary, let me switch gears over to your side of it. So how will LifePath take advantage of this opportunity?
I think we have to be careful with wording because we're not looking to take advantage of anything.
But I use it more of you're helping your constituents.
Exactly. We're helping the people we serve. And I think that's where the advantage comes. We're trying to give advantages to folks who may need more support in entering or re-entering the workforce.
Okay.
And I think that's a really important distinction and a way that we're looking to support.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what will you be seeking the people? Will the people be coming to you?
We will be a recruiter. If that's sort of where you're going. And we will also be part of the triumvirate of folks who are doing the training. So we'll be focusing on healthcare-based learnings, HIPAA, reading patient records, insurance, that sort of thing, because we have expertise in all of those realms. And then we can impart that expertise through the educational process. And then hopefully we may be someone who's considered an employment opportunity in the future, or we may be training people to support those in the community who are supporting those that we serve.
Now, I have to imagine this further solidifies the value of LifePath in the Franklin Hampshire community.
Right.
So
we serve over 13,000 people in any given year, in Franklin County and the North Quabbin.
13,000. And Franklin is the least populated county in Massachusetts. So that's a good chunk of people.
I think it really highlights the intense need that a poor and rural demographic often brings forth.
Well, that brings up a question. So it's the least populated county in the state. Are there enough? It certainly sounds like there are enough job opportunities in Franklin Hampshire County to get these 50 people gainful employment.
Well, I mean, I think that one of the things that we're really seeing is that rural healthcare is at risk. So the delivery of healthcare services in rural communities is at risk. One of the things that we love about the model that we have, again, is it's small cohorts and it's specifically designed around a specific work site. So the Franklin County Health Center has multiple work sites scattered around the county, as does Hilltown, as does Valley Medical. And this allows us to go to the area right around a work site and develop and deliver the training right there, which then alleviates some of the transportation challenges. Because transportation is a huge challenge in Franklin County for training and employment. So this way, we're going to be looking to recruit people who live already close by one of the work sites, and then we'll develop the training on site. And so that helps with some of that training delivery, and also does sustain the ability to deliver the health needs to the community.
I have to imagine you both have had conversations with your local legislators about these needs, about not only the employment needs, but the healthcare needs of the residents there. So have they been, beating the drum on Beacon Hill that, Franklin and Hampshire County needs this help?
Absolutely. We are really lucky to have one of the strongest legislative delegations, I think, across the state. and they really understand the needs of our region. And they absolutely, as you said, are talking across secretariats at the state level about specific needs that rural communities have, both for workforce and for healthcare. And so this is something that they're championing.
Fantastic. We are up on our next commercial break. There's still more to come, so please stay with us. We'll be back after this.
This is 22 News in Focus with Patrick Berry. This is 22 News in Focus with Patrick Berry.
Welcome back, everyone, to this edition of In Focus. I'm your host, Patrick Berry. Today, across the desk from me, we have Maura Geary and Gary Uhas from Franklin Hampshire. MassHire is where Maura's from, and Gary is from LifePath. MassHire has just recently received a $500,000 grant, which is fantastic, in helping train people to get gainful employment. And to Gary, to your point, it's targeted specifically, the grant, if I understand correctly, is for those people age 55 and older, 60 and older, something to that effect. Because a lot of people in that age group realize that maybe they were laid off, maybe they voluntarily left their job or whatever it might be. Things are more expensive today than ever. So, and we're living longer, so they need more money.
Yeah, we're seeing that a lot. And it may be that they had to leave the workforce for caregiving responsibilities. We serve a lot of people in the sandwich generation. They're still caring for their kids, and now they're also caring for their parents,
right? Maybe
also their grandparents. So people leave the workforce for a variety of different reasons. And you're out for 1, 2, 5 years, and you feel like life has sort of passed you by, and you're looking to re-enter, and that's where this comes in.
So, and these are what types of jobs, Maura, that people will be trained for?
The specific jobs that we're focused on are medical receptionists and patient care representatives. Sometimes they're called different things at different work sites, but basically the person who is there to greet people when they're coming into their healthcare provider and walk them through the initial stages of enrollment or check-in.
The smiling face you see when you first walk in.
That's right.
So you mentioned earlier it will be multiple cohorts over the course of 1 year or
3 years.
Over 3 years, and at the end, it's roughly 50 people.
50 people.
So, about what? Trying to do the math here, more 15, 17 people a year.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So the first cohort is going to kick off we're hoping in February of 2026. And so, next year we think we'll serve 14, 15 people.
And this is specifically for residents of Franklin and Hampshire County.
And the North Quabbin region.
So if anybody who lives in that catchment area and is interested in this, what should their next step be? If they live there and they say, hey, you know what, I'm a 60-something-year-old person, I need to get back into the workforce, what do I do? What do they have to do?
They can call LifePath, and they will find a friendly person live waiting to answer their call.
Who's already been trained to answer that.
Or they can also call MassHire Franklin Hampshire. We work very closely together, and we'll be able to get the information that we need to one another.
What are the other things that folks can find if they go to the website?
To our LifePath website, lifepathma.org. They will find all the different ways that we can support older adults, caregivers, and individuals living with disabilities. We have over 40 programs that we can serve over 13,000 people a year.
And they can also go to the website to learn more about this training program.
They will soon be able to do that. We don't have that. We don't have that live quite yet.
Okay, and more for the MassHire Franklin Hampshire website. What can folks get from that website?
So they can come to our website and learn about how to register for JobQuest, which is our statewide job seeker database. And once they are registered for JobQuest, they come to us and we take them through an overview of all of the different resources that we have for any job seeker with any special circumstances or barrier to employment. And we orient people to all of the services that we provide for their job search. And then we go from there. And we have counselors and workshops and all kinds of services that help people get to work.
So you mentioned earlier that the first cohort should probably start in February. Is there a cutoff date that people need to keep in mind if they want to get involved in that first?
I think we're looking at probably an early December recruitment phase. And so we will be doing
So starting recruitment early December.
Starting recruitment in early December. And we will have, as Gary said, lots more information on our websites in December. And if this isn't the right opportunity for somebody, we will help them find the right opportunity for
That brings up another good point. And I think that's the crucial point is between both of your organizations. If this grant doesn't, like, say it was me, if I hear about this, I come up to either of your groups and say, I want to get involved in this. And then through the conversation, like, maybe this isn't right for me, but your staff can help find me the right thing.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. We have so many resources that help anybody in our region not only find out about the jobs that exist, but to find out about the career pathways that exist. We're not just interested in getting people a job. We're interested in helping people find a career that has growth and sustainability and meets their interests and meets the needs that we see in our region.
So MassHire Franklin Hampshire works with all age groups.
Yes.
Okay.
And we have great programs for young adults as well.
Okay.
So 14 to 25
that's
is another
fantastic. You don't
specialty.
hear that too often,
Yeah.
that basically high school, college student age.
We'll have to
Usually
come
they get-
back another
yeah,
time
usually
to talk
they're-
about
they're
all
left
those
behind.
programs. Yes.
And Gary, for LifePath, do you have a certain age group you work with, or very similar to Moore's, it's most ages?
No, we are defined by the state to primarily serve individuals age 60 and up. Although if it's someone living with a disability, we start services around the age of 2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we do have some specific programming for those living with disability and their caregivers. And then for the older adult services starting at 60.
Fantastic. I think we've covered everything today. So I can't thank you both enough for coming in, talking to me and our viewers a little bit about the grant, how they can take advantage of it, and the 2 websites. So thank you both. Good seeing you.
Thanks so much,
Thank
Patrick.
you so much.
This is 22 News in Focus with Patrick Berry.